One of my conspiracy theories, I think that there are actually people out here that can read minds, but I also don't know if that's like religious psychosis
Mhm.
or whatever. Well, not psycho. Psychosis is the wrong word, but don't you know how like you're taught from a young age, like oh, like God knows your thoughts and He knows this, He knows this. So you're thinking like everybody, like oh, I'm like in my own head is not safe.
Mhm.
So maybe that's where it comes from, but I really do think there are people out there that can read minds, like, so sometimes when I'm out in public, I'll try to shout something in my mind to see if somebody turn around. To see if somebody turn around because it's like, "Ooh, yeah, I got you." Um, there's a book called, The
Has it
Boy.
worked?
Not necessarily, no.
Ready?
Yep,
All right, I'm Nani.
and I'm an ant.
Join us on Law and Order as we unpack the hottest topics, trending lawsuits, and media buzz.
Take a listen as we cut through the noise to reveal fact and what's really going on.
Tune in for sharp insights and a fresh take on today's stories. Follow us
Everywhere
everywhere for your dose of
lore.
lore.
I was in the wrong spot. I was like, "Why is she reading that part?" But then, yeah, I was in the wrong spot.
Oh well, shit happens.
Yeah,
It
y'all get it.
happens. Yeah, y'all get it. Y'all done heard it
Y'all
three
get it.
times at this point.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm cool. Chilling, vibing. How about
Um.
you?
I'm good. I don't have any life updates. How was your Valentine's Day? What did y'all end up doing?
Yeah, we ended up staying at the house. He got the like place decorated and
Oh
everything like
yeah, I saw
that.
it.
It was really, really nice. But the decorations did come with like chocolate covered strawberries, and they did them chocolate covered strawberries any kind of way.
Oh,
And
he got somebody to decorate it.
yeah,
Ooh.
somebody decorated and all that stuff. He got rose. It was a great Valentine's Day. But them strawberries, I really don't like that. And I had him text. I was like, "You need to text him," because I ate it too, and it wasn't giving fresh strawberry. Let me calm down. Let me calm
Mm.
down. And so I don't. Like when he texted him, he didn't get a response. But I was like, I think you actually need. I was thinking about it. I was like, no, you actually need to ask for a refund on those because you paid for those, and they literally, like I have the pictures. They literally look like they just did anything. And that's not cool, especially if you're trying to start a business. So I think
Right.
it would be good if they give him the refund. And if they don't, maybe I'm gonna start dropping names.
It's
I'm just
okay
kidding.
because I got a little pissed to do it by Valentine's Day because we went to go see the Captain America movie.
Uh-huh.
That's all I wanted. I just wanted a simple night, go see the Captain America movie, and like I wanted to go to a dine-in cinema
Mhm.
on Valentine's Day. This dine-in cinema at 8 o'clock closed their kitchen. So we could not eat. Mind you, the movie was like 2 hours long. So I was really just hoping that there would still be things in that area that were open. And mind you, we were around Tyson's. So everything, like for the most part, around the mall will close at 9.
Mhm.
But like what was so crazy is when you walk in, they have two kitchens. There's one downstairs and then there's one upstairs.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, we had to close the kitchen down because the kitchen got too backed up.
That doesn't mean you
Um,
close it down. Like,
no, everybody should have been in place because y'all have a second kitchen. If the first kitchen was backed
yeah.
up, then where the fuck, like, this was Valentine's Day. What did you think was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
happen? Like,
annoying.
that was, it pissed me off so bad. But we ended up just going to get something to eat at BJ's, which I didn't know there was a BJ's near Tyson. So I
Yeah.
ended up still eating, but I was pissed the whole movie. Like, I barely wanted to be there, but I still wanted to watch the movie. So
Yeah, I think I also so Valentine's Day was cool. Like we really liked staying in the house. So I was telling him I
mhm.
was like, we should do this from now on. Like, you get the place decorated because I love that part. And then we just stay in the house. Like he cooked, like it was so good. He did a wonderful job.
Does he do all the cooking?
Like in general,
Mhm.
or so he cooks more than me because I work in person.
Mm.
Like I'm hybrid and he's like completely remote. So on the days that I go in, he cooks. And it's like we try for like on the days I don't go in that I cook, but sometimes we just end up ordering food. But
Mm.
he definitely cooks more than me. He will agree with that too.
Yeah, I was
So
about to say
yeah.
I'm the cooker and I hate it.
Yeah, no,
Hate
he
it. I
chefing
hate
it up.
cooking, being in the kitchen. Don't like it at
Your
all.
pancakes fiasco.
Oh yeah, my pancake fiasco. But see, okay, I can make some breakfast. I just never made pancakes.
Yeah.
That was like that's my only thing.
Yeah. Oh, I also found a dress. My
Oh
wedding
yeah.
dress. So I've kind of been trying to like not get too in my head, like thinking like having buyer's remorse and thinking like, oh, like did I do it too fast? Did I not try on enough? Did I da 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 did I? If you watch Hoodwink, you know what I'm talking about. But but I'm kinda just looking at and I'm just accepting, like, "Hey, there's always gonna be a beautiful dress," like, I don't
Mhm.
wanna live my life and be like, "Oh, what if I did this? What if I did this?" Like, no, what I felt in the moment and what I liked in the moment, overall, is gonna be beautiful. I know I'm gonna look beautiful. I know it's gonna be a great time, and I'm like, "This is capitalism." Because after I bought my dress, all my algorithm, all my ads and stuff was dresses, and I was like, "Y'all trying to trick me."
And, well, you also have vow renewals, so you can always pick a pretty
Exactly,
white dress for a vow
and we're
renewal.
also doing like, we're going on a trip, like, our honeymoon
Mhm,
well, not quotation marks, but, yeah, our honeymoon and stuff, we're gonna do a private ceremony on the beach, just me and him, and
mhm.
I'll have not, like, a full-on gown, but I'll have a dress on, then too, so another opportunity, but I'm like, "You know what, Antonia, like, it's all gonna work out." Like, and I also think it might be social media, like, comparison culture where I'm like, "Oh, like, should I have gotten this? Should I have did" yeah, and I'm like, "No, I don't wanna think about this, so I'm not going to, and I don't wanna feel this way, so I'm not going to." So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very happy with my dress. Once the alterations are made, I think I'm just gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, like, this is beautiful." But, like, I had 4 people with me because that's how many people you can have.
Mhm.
His mother, my grandmother, my mother, and one of my best friends, Jordan, and everybody cried except for me and my mother. Like me but I've rarely ever seen my mother cry in
Yeah.
my life.
I don't think I've ever seen my mom cry.
Yeah, like, I've seen my father cry more times than my mother, but I actually, they're both water signs. We're all water signs. Well,
My
he's a
dad is a
Pisces, my mother's a Cancer, I'm a Scorpio.
my mom's a Cancer
Yeah,
too.
her and my, fiancé have the same birthday.
Oh,
I
wow.
know, it was crazy. It was
Yeah,
crazy when I first found out. And
yeah.
she's turning 50 this year, so I'm like, "Your birthday is kinda, like, less important than hers right now."
Is my mom turning 50 this
Oh, it's not in my
Oh my gosh, I think my mom is turning 50 this year.
Was she born
I
in
don't
75?
know.
If she was born in 75, she's turning
No.
50.
Okay, no,
Okay,
she's turning 40 now.
I'm screaming.
Um, uh, yeah, no, my dad is a Taurus,
Okay. That's my
and
sister's
he
sign, or our
acts
sister's sign.
every bit like it. He's the only Taurus that I really actually know. I know some of my friends have dated Tauruses, and I'm like, "Yep, that sounds like
My little
sounds
sister's
about
a
right."
Taurus, and she get on my nerves.
My little sister is a Leo.
Mm.
I'm not gonna lie, I like fire signs though. And my boyfriend is a fire sign, which is weird because I'm a water sign.
Yeah, we're both water signs in this house.
Yep.
Hold on,
Our
it's not
birthdays
mine.
are, I don't know if we've said that enough, but our birthdays are a day apart. So 29, she's the 29th, I'm the
Oh,
30th,
yeah,
both
so
Scorpios.
okay, yeah. I have something to say about that. Um,
What?
no, remember the midnight twin thing? Okay, so so her okay, I'm October 29th, she's October 30th, so I was like, "Oh, like, we could call each other." I was like, "You're my midnight twin." Because we, like, would kinda, I guess, share midnight, but, like, not for real, wait 24 hours in a day, which
Yeah.
whatever. And one of my friends, Kenyon, was like, "That might be problematic to say."
Yeah, because she was about to post a picture
I
on
was
her
about to s
Instagram story and she's gonna say midnight twin, but it was just like,
It's like, "Is that giving
mm,
colorism?"
right. Oh God. That topic. Jesus. Okay, but before we get into anything, okay, just to discuss filming, because this is just something that was like, as I was like editing and like looking back at our episode, when we talked about the Lyft lawsuit and the lady danked the most, she had not gone on the Breakfast Club yet. Even though that the Breakfast Club interview really had nothing to do with what we were talking
Yeah.
about, it was the case and everything like that. It just made me so mad because I'm like, dang, like if only we talked about it like maybe the week before, like it would have came out like right on time. But like when we film, the episodes don't come out for another like week and a half or like week and maybe like 2 days. So the lift thing happened. I mean, not the lift thing happened, but the lady going on the Breakfast Club. And then we also talked about Kanye West and Bianca Censori.
Mhm.
And then like a few days later, it's like divorce rumors. And we're like, God damn, like
Yeah.
like every time we film, like a few days later, something comes out, something happens. Like there's been so many things that have like been going on in the like in like social media anyway. So I
Yeah.
have predictions about like what's coming up in the next few weeks, but I'll save those to the end of the episode.
Okay, and one thing I did wanna say, in particular to the, like, the Breakfast Club interview, after that interview, people were like, "This is gonna hurt her case, like, blah, 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 whatever,"
That
and
case is already shit.
it's a yeah, we talked about that in the last episode, but her going on the Breakfast Club and having an interview doesn't hurt her case.
Mhm.
Like, especially because now she's like in the life of a lawsuit or whatever. Where she's at right now is there's a complaint filed. So a judge is going to review the complaint to see if, they've established whatever case so that to prove they've established whatever case to, go on and that it's not just going to get thrown out. A judge is not going to watch that Breakfast Club interview, the judge reading it and be like, oh, wow, nothing happened here. So when people say that, it just gets on my nerves when they're like, "Oh, this is gonna hurt their case. This is gonna hurt their case." Like this was not a situation where her going on that interview hurt her case.
Could it have hurt? Okay, could it have hurt the case if she said something in the interview like, "Oh, like even though I've never gotten in a car that size, like could it then hurt the case?"
I don't think so, because right now she's trying to prove that like there was,
It was discrimination.
yeah, that there was discrimination. If it was a case where it has to do with like whether or not somebody lied or whether a
Mhm.
crime got committed, you making a confession is
Mhm.
different. There was no confession to be made on her part in this case.
Yeah.
Like, especially about like her size. Cause it's like, her size is her size. The size of the car is a car. Like those facts
Can't
are,
change.
yeah. Yeah. So
Okay. Uh what are we getting into first? Oh,
the
like should we talk about
questions
like
or
I forgot about the question. Jesus, I
yes.
forgot about the question.
So we have a link in our bio on our Instagram for people to ask us questions. And we put that up and we've gotten some responses. So we're gonna go over some of these questions. Have this new little segment.
What's funny is actually
We should name it.
that's my dad named it.
What did he
'Cause
say?
he watched the episode. He was like, "Yeah, you guys should have." This was before we even posted the link. He was like,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah, you guys should have a segment called Asked and Answered."
Wow, I like that. Okay, so asked and answered, everybody. I like
Shout out to
that.
my dad.
Yes, that's good. That's good. Write it down. Write it down.
Okay.
First
So
question.
okay, yeah, the first thing that someone put down was the big lift lady.
Why would you write that?
What he really wanted to say was that big ass bitch. Talk
Yeah,
about
like
that.
y'all, that is so mean. Like just being reduced to that. That must be really sad and embarrassing.
Yeah.
But what
That
is
is
embarrassment?
But
I'll get
also
back to
like I feel like that's kind of like been her whole like marketing point. She is also using that, but she says it, because I did watch the Breakfast Club interview and she was like, "Oh, I don't like the F word."
that. Fat?
Yes.
Oh.
So I mean, it's just like, but she calls herself Big Dank. I mean, so
Mhm.
obviously, like,
I guess it's kind of like people's preferences because I know some people who are like plus size that are like, yeah, we just need to embrace the word fat because fat is a word. Like it is like it's not. I don't know. Like it doesn't
it's a part of
harm
your
you. Yeah,
biology.
yeah. It's
Like if you are obese, you are obese typically because like there is fat surrounding your body. There's a whole thing about BMI and stuff like that. But like
yeah,
as
like
far as
which
just
has to do with medical racism and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah. But like as far as like, we all have fat on our body and that is what typically makes people fat. So it's just also like one of the other things, it's just I hate to say it like this, but I can't think of any other way to say it, but like just addressing the elephant in the room, she a big girl. She's a big girl. So it's just like, even though I think that there are other aspects about her that probably are good, but like we don't know her. And like she was also on that show, the with Waka Flocka's mom. Like she's on some like rap show or something like that.
I know what you're talking about. Hustle and Flow?
Deb,
Oh, no,
Deb,
you're not talking about the one.
Deb Anthony. No, I know what you're talking about, but no,
Okay.
she's on a smaller network show, but
It-
yeah, like it's the big point on that show as well is the fact that like she is. I keep saying, I keep sticking my foot in my mouth, but like the main point of her character
that she's also a larger woman.
Yeah, that like
and you know what it's kind of remind me of like whether or not to say fat, where people are like, oh, can you say fat? Like it makes me think about how like white people don't will feel uncomfortable calling
saying
people black
black,
people.
yeah.
They'd be like, my African American friend over here.
Like, just call me black.
Yeah, I prefer just
black.
Like
I hate,
I'm
but I
black.
hate blacks.
Blacks is not okay.
I hate blacks. Plural.
Blacks is derogatory.
That is derogatory.
Black people.
You know what term I really like? When somebody says like black bitch. I don't know what it is about that, but I love that term.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that, but I love when people like you black bitch.
I think it's such like a not that we love it like we would love to be called that,
It's just
but it's
like
just like a
when people say it, it's
like what?
just it's so comedic.
It
Like
is. Not
it's so
certain people,
funny.
not everybody. Like if a self-hating black man who only dates white women, like he
Yeah.
can't say it. You can't say
Yeah,
it.
no.
Like, no.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's only okay for like if Doechii, I think Doechii said it. I think maybe like Doechii has said it a few times. I'm just like, I like this.
Mhm.
I like this direction that we're
Mhm.
going in. Um
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Somebody else asked us what's y'all opinions on electric cars versus gas cars.
First of all, I don't drive. I don't even have my license. As of today, my little sister has her who's 10 years younger than me. She has her road test scheduled for like next week. So most likely she's going to get a license before me, which is not
You
anything
can't
new.
have it all though. You passed your bar on the first try. You can't
Exactly.
also like
Exactly.
be driving
Exactly.
on the
Yeah,
road.
once I take it's just about time and opportunity. Like I just don't feel like doing it. I'm also not excited to drive. I don't need to drive. Like in order to get to work, I just take
Child.
the metro. Like I really don't need to drive.
Having a
But
car
yeah.
is like just having a car in itself
Yeah.
is just
I see my
it's a big
fiance's car. He just had to replace
it's a
his
big
battery.
responsibility. Like
Yeah, I'm good.
I feel like it's the same thing as like having a house where like in the long term you think that like oh this is a great investment, but like when you think about like
Yes.
oh when you have an apartment, if something goes wrong in your apartment, you
We
have
are
a
fixing it. We were just
landlord.
talking about this actually.
Yeah, there's somebody to come and fix all of your problems. When you have a house, you have to fix your problems. But like if you have a car, you got to fix your own
Yeah,
problems.
I was telling my fiance if we weren't together, I would be like if we didn't work out. I was telling him when we were dating, I wouldn't be trying to like have a strong committed relationship with anybody else. Like I'm not getting married, probably not having kids, nothing. So I'm like, if we didn't work out, I would never get a house. Like I would just be in an apartment, condo, whatever, forever. Like I really like the idea of owning a house does not excite me.
Yeah, it
Like I
doesn't
feel like
excite me.
that is that's something that's just like, oh, this is just society telling you to do this. And it's like,
Mhm.
what are okay, generational wealth.
Which
If I'm not planning on continuing my family, I don't care about generational wealth.
yeah,
But
and
I
then
guess I
I
have
feel
to
like
now.
there's other way. We got to start talking about generational wealth in other ways besides owning a home because it is such a big
Yeah.
responsibility. Like that is not. I don't consider that as like something. I don't want necessarily a house passed down to me unless maybe if it's in like a trust, everything is already paid off. Like don't pass
Yeah.
me a house.
Especially with how expensive they are nowadays. Like,
Mhm.
but yeah, so electric cars, gas cars.
If even if you get a car,
I don't think it
just
makes sense to have like a Tesla or whatever electric car in California. Yeah, because the weather is not like it's not snowing and stuff out there. Well, in certain parts, but I feel like it
oh
makes less
yeah,
sense to have that kind of car like on the East Coast,
yeah.
like because they be messing up. I know this girl who like when it was she had her Tesla or whatever, and when it was like the wintertime, it kept messing up. Like she had to return it eventually.
Okay.
Oh well.
Plane. Somebody just said plane. So I'm assuming we're gonna assume just talking about all of the plane crashes.
hmm
Um, don't know much. I don't know much about planes. I don't know much about aviation. So I can just tell you like what information was passed down to me that I did the research on myself. That there was a TikTok that a woman had made and said that the National Transportation Safety Board actually has like monthly aviation accident crash board like their dashboard data. um Accidents are actually at a record low. So January of 2025 there were only 63 accidents versus 2024 that had 80, 2023 that had 89, 2022 that had 82, 2021 that had 74, and then February we're only at 37 aviation accidents so far.
It's almost pretty much the end of the
Yeah,
month.
and it's almost the end of the month. So it has not been that low ever as of right now. It has not been that low ever. The lowest it has ever been was in 2014 and the number was 72. I think essentially what happened is there was a plane crash that happened in DC. And then ever since then, like everybody has just been paying attention to what has been going on
Mhm.
with aviation accidents. And everybody's just like, oh, look at this one. Oh, look at this one. Oh, look at this one. So
Yeah.
I don't think we're seeing an influx or an increase in aviation accidents.
I also don't think I believe like some people who have kind of made that point like oh, this it's the least like what you essentially what you
Mhm.
said. People are trying to say like, oh, like the government is controlling the news, so they don't want you to travel, they don't want you to go out, they want you to only stay in the United States and be in a bubble and da da da. I don't think I necessarily believe that either. I
Mhm.
just think like more people are paying attention to it, and because more people are paying attention to it, you want those ratings, you want those like viewership or whatever. So they're like giving people what they're paying attention to.
Mhm.
Like I don't think this is like a scheme,
Set up by Todd.
Todd, to make sure people aren't traveling. I
Yeah.
feel like, you hear about a plane crash, like you get worried about that. I'm pretty sure it probably was a whole bunch of reportings of plane crashes in 2001.
Um, okay. Next
Um,
question. Top 4 things you hate.
hate. Hate is a strong word, which is justified
I'm a
for
hater
many situations. Yeah.
at times,
I don't
so,
mind hating. I don't think it takes anything away from me. Like, I don't think I'm miserable or I'm like whatever, whatever, just because I hate something
um,
or someone.
let me see top 4 things I hate. Oh, men that read 48 Laws of Power, and that's, like, the only thing that they've ever read.
I hate the system. Like, if you have asthma, I have asthma. I hate when you try to go to like the emergency room when like imagine you're out of your inhaler and you're trying to go to the emergency room and all you need to feel better is really the stuff that was in the inhaler. So it's like all you got to do is take me back there, put me up on this machine and let me breathe. But they don't care because you're not like I don't know what ratings are. You're just your guts aren't all over the floor and stuff.
Mhm.
They ignore you. One time I was the last person in the emergency room and they actually told me that they forgot about me. It was crazy.
That
Like, I hate the
actually
way, emergencies rooms treat people with asthma. It's like, it's not serious, and the thing is, I know you have what's back there that will help me, like, we know it, like, all you like, I will be in and out so fast, like, just give it to me, like, I hate
that
that so
actually
much, it made me so
I
mad.
think that brings me to my number 2 thing that I
Uh-huh.
hate,
Mhm.
gynecology.
You
I
hate
Yeah, no,
gynecology?
no, no, because as somebody that has had, like, serious issues, like, trying to figure out things, like, gynecology was so, like, useless in all of my, like, endeavors to try to figure out what the f was wrong with
What was
me.
going on with your body? Yeah.
Like, I remember I was, I just one day I just had a sharp pain and I thought my appendix was exploding.
Mm.
And then I went to a doctor, my regular gynecologist, she didn't have any appointments open. So I went to this random dude and he told me, "Oh, it's probably this. I'm gonna order you some tests." He I took the test, but the test results went to my normal doctor.
Mhm.
So she pretty much was like, "Oh, we didn't find anything." And then for like 2 years, like I continued to have this really sharp pain just about
Mhm.
like every single month. So then I went to another female doctor. I went to another female doctor. I went to another female doctor. And they all across 3 different states, they all told me the same thing, which was um there's nothing really we can do for you unless like you have cancer. So like we can give you ibuprofen and we can give you birth control. And I was like, no, hard stop. No. Like just everybody just leave me alone. So when they finally did figure out what was wrong with me, it was literally what the guy had told me
Mm.
2 years ago, and I was just like, "I hate all of you bitches."
Yeah.
Like, I went through all of that for so long, and then I eventually went to, uh I eventually just, went to
Primary care physician?
my primary care physician, and she was able to,
Okay.
give me some recommendations on things that might help me with my cycle,
Mhm.
and it worked.
Next thing I hate separating the art from the artist.
Mm.
I hate the idea of that because I feel like it just gives people a cop out, an excuse to still support people and enjoy the person or content or whatever of someone who that the person supporting them thinks they don't align with morally, but they still want to enjoy that they still want to be entertained. So they don't like hold that person to a standard. It's like, "Oh, this person actually like something bad happened." Like when people talk about artists, like for a long time, like the whole R. Kelly thing. Like I remember when I was younger, and I remember the first time I heard about the whole like what he did to the little 14-year-old, and I was just like, why are we playing his music right now? Like he did this to a 14-year-old. Like why is everybody not upset? And throughout the years, every time they would bring him up, I'd be like, hey guys,
He's a
Remember,
pedophile.
he did that. Like, why aren't people more upset? So it's like when people are like, oh, like they can still listen to like me, I cuts it off. Like I don't play. And I really it just if people were just more honest and were like, "Oh, hey, yeah, I just still like this music. I know it's bad. Like, I know, but I'm still gonna do it." I would rather that than people make these sophisticated try to use big words and make
Mhm.
sophisticated arguments for why they're still going to support somebody or make it seem dumb that you don't. Like I remember people will say and like the Drake and Kendrick beef, like, oh, I
Mhm.
can still listen to Drake and Kendrick music because I'm not an idiot or I'm not stupid or something like that. And it's like, no,
No.
Drake has done some pretty questionable things, and I'm not listening to his music just because I'm easily susceptible to believing things. He doesn't seem like a good person. Like
Yeah, seems like a weirdo. Okay, my number 3 thing that I hate. Um, I hate when people take like when people create conspiracy theories out of like very small like things, or just like they take truths and like they take things that are true and they just turn them into like these horrifying stories. Like I'll use the example of like stem cell research. There's a conspiracy theory about like, oh, these billionaires, they're in order to like stay young, they're using like fetuses, they're harvesting like fetuses. Like, no, essentially what you're talking about is like stem cell research.
Mhm.
And like, a lot of clinics or whatever, they use the aborted fetuses for stem cell research. So I mean, or I think you can even use placenta for stem cell research.
Mhm.
I don't know. There's a lot of things, and I know that fetuses are a big part of stem cell research. But it's just like, then why are billionaires still dying?
The third thing I would say I hate is people who offer services and it's like they're trying to get rich off of those services. Not trying to make, a reasonable salary or whatever. No, you're trying to get rich. Like you're trying to fund that car payment, that mortgage payment, these vacations. Like people who offer services like I don't know how much like we were talking about Valentine's Day. I don't know how much they
Hmm.
charge or whatever, but people like even those ones. Like I saw this one girl, she was selling like fake flowers and they had glitter on them and stuff like that for Valentine's Day. And they were not good quality. Like I was zooming in on those pictures. I
Hmm.
was like, girl, you're selling people trash. And like people, like even hairstylists or like people who like do nails or whatever, whatever. I don't have an issue with um how do they say it? Like, I feel like they've kinda used, like, charging your worth
Hmm.
as, like, an excuse to, like, charge people a crazy
Hmm.
amount and to fund these, like, lavish lifestyles. You're like, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm" like, you're trying to it's very, what they call billionaires? It's
The
not
1%.
moral. No, 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 it's like it's you're being predatory. You're
Mm.
like I don't know, it's I really don't I hate it. I don't like not that I don't like it, I hate it.
But I don't know if this is a top 4 thing that I hate, but it is super annoying that like I don't like when people align their businesses with their religious beliefs, especially if their business has nothing to do with religion. Like I don't care that you're a Christian lash tech. I don't care that you're a Christian like nail artist. As a matter of fact, I'm not about to go with you. You can sit there in your holy book and you can leave me alone. Like
Or they
I
try to
don't,
force it to fit, and it's like,
because I already know
I
what we're
prayed
gonna
over
be.
the lashes.
I already know what we finna be talking about, and I don't want your prayers. I don't know what type of issues you got.
Exactly.
I don't know what type of bad juju you
Do I
got
want you praying
attached
for
to your
me?
prayers. Please, everybody cannot pray for you, and it's fine. Like
Honestly, religious content creators rub me the wrong way because my sister sent in a group chat the other day this girl talking about a scripture or whatever, whatever, and I just I was getting mad because I was like, you believe anything anybody tell you on the
let me tell you something.
internet?
This is
Oh my gosh, I was
this
just
is gonna
like,
be
how do you
messed up.
know? Like, you just believe in what anybody says?
Child,
What are you about to say?
this is gonna be so messed up. But I'm a media production major, and for the most part, our field is very freelance.
Mhm.
So you can go out and you can figure out your way from there. So a lot of people have like tried to photographers, videographers, whatever, like podcast.
Mm.
Um, there's this one girl who clearly she was trying to figure it out. And now I'm not gonna say that she wasn't Christian before, but she definitely
Mm.
wasn't thumping that Bible
Yeah,
like she is
yeah,
now all over
yeah.
TikTok. And I'm like, okay, you went from getting like 10 likes on your video to like 100 likes on your video. So now this is what you sticking with.
Yeah.
Got it.
You can
Got it.
definitely tell when
Got
people are like, "Oh, this
it.
is my niche." Now
Right.
it's all Christianity is this. Not to say that, like, you didn't care before, but, like, I don't know, I just feel like into, turning it into, like, money.
Content,
Yeah, it reminds me
money.
of the Bible story.
Right.
When Jesus got mad and he knocked over those stalls and stuff when they were selling things in the I forgot, I don't know if it was specifically church no, like a holy space or whatever, he was pissed.
Okay,
Um,
yeah, what's the next question?
no, I had my 4th thing.
Oh, yeah, your 4th thing. My bad.
No, you're good. Think pieces where the person just wants to be mean. And I talked about this on my TikTok. Follow my TikTok at
Mhm.
Nia Tia. I actually have a funny backstory about that nickname. But think pieces where the person just wants to be mean. I saw this TikTok and this girl was talking about I blocked her too. She was talking about Glorilla and how in Glorilla's last album, she like mentioned that she was light skinned like a few times. And she's like, basically because Glorilla is these are her words, not mine, because Glorilla is like unattractive, it's like, oh yeah, that's why she has to keep reminding us that she's light skinned because before the fame, that was probably the only thing she had writing for her. And it's like the whole video, she said Glorilla's colorist just off the fact that she mentioned she was light skinned in her songs, which I feel like the whole like Redbone, whatever, probably is like a regional thing too for her, like in Memphis. But not excusing it, but I'm like, do you know what a colorist is?
I think that, like, definitions are important. Like, I feel like if we're gonna use the
Yeah.
definition of colorism, no, what she's saying, no, by definition, that's not
Yeah.
colorism.
Because I looked at the definition
How
after.
I was gonna say, however, I do think that, like, when it comes to topics like colorism, sometimes you have to think about it from, like, perspectives and,
Mhm.
like, she's from New York, so, like, colorism looks different in New York than it does in, like, the South. I'll
Mm.
definitely say because I remember being younger. I was born in Florida. And like all of my family is dark skinned. Like the lightest person in my family is probably like your skin
Mm.
complexion. Like everybody's dark skinned. And then moving to DC, everybody's just black and you can
Mhm.
pick your flavor up here. Like I didn't realize
Mhm.
I was necessarily dark skinned. Like I didn't realize
Mhm.
that that was something that like, oh, people needed to build my confidence up around. But going back to like her perspective on it, like because like she's from New York and I know for a fact that like at least like the beauty standard, because like if she was talking about like Glorilla or whatever, like the beauty standard, at least in New York, is like, oh, Afro Latina, like you got to be
Mhm.
mixed with like Black and Puerto Rican. So I feel like
Mhm.
maybe she has a skewed perspective on like just what colorism is, just based off of just like maybe how she's been
Yeah,
treated,
like just because
or
you
like
say it, yeah.
yeah, or just how like she's seen like other light
Yeah.
skinned people like be treated. So
Yeah. Because if
I don't
Glorilla was
know.
colorist, she would be treating darker skinned people.
Yeah.
She would be prejudiced against them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think her mentioning her song, whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, people, yeah. So that was my
Okay.
last thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, but yeah, being mean. I don't like when people hurt me. That's my whole point. I don't like think pieces to be mean under the veil. No, I don't like people being mean under the like disguise or veil of like a think piece.
Oh,
That
okay,
was my
okay,
whole
okay,
point.
okay. Um, okay, what are some conspiracy theories that you have? Right out the gate, Zeus Network, specifically baddies. And although I do watch it, it gives me the best 60 minutes on the Stairmaster I can
I'm
ever ask
screaming.
for. Like, if you ever need to get 60 minutes on a Stairmaster, go ahead and watch a baddies episode. But it is a sex trafficking ring. It is an undercover sex
Oh,
trafficking ring.
yes. Especially I saw like cuz I don't watch it cuz it just like when people get hurt, when I watch somebody get hurt on a TV show or whatever, I feel like it's happening to me in my body. So
Oh
I can't
no.
see stuff like that. And I also get second embarrassment. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, whatever." It stops me from watching a lot of shows. But I definitely think, especially the whole Baddies Africa thing, like what do you mean Baddies Africa? And they're like, "Oh, you just need whatever whatever." I don't yeah, it's definitely
They're
giving
going to
like
Africa.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where in Africa?
Child, who know? Probably Ghana and Nigeria. But the reason why I say it's a sex trafficking ring is just because I be into girl, I be into all of the lore. So after okay, this is how it started. This is how my theory of it started. It started because Natalie was taking trips out to Dubai, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, she getting like crapped on,
Uh,
by like these billionaires, and that's like why she always take a trip out there." And
mhm,
then there was like 3 seasons where she would take a trip after the season finished with like some of the new girls. So it went from that to then like, but like all of the girls would kind of be like girls that you would think that were already into that. So like the
mm.
Claremont twins or like,
I know some stuff about them.
yeah, like just just like girls that like you think would be into that type of thing. And then I remember there was a season where there were girls who like nobody ever knew. And they were just like, oh yeah, I'm just hoping to make a name for myself. Just hoping, like, I'm just open to all of the opportunities that could come from baddies. But after baddies, they always take a trip. And I'm not talking about like the trips that they take during the season. There's always a trip after that season overseas. And people be, child, them girls be going
I
places.
think it'd probably be like cultish.
Cultish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think
Think about what a cult is like.
I think Lemmy is a pimp, and I think Natalie Nunn is his bottom bitch, and like he's just pimping those girls out, pimping them out for content, sexual content, fighting content, like whatever he can.
Yeah.
What's your tea on the Claremont twins?
It rhymes with
incest.
Yes, that's really weird. I think they like each other. Like it's on some yeah. We
know that.
Yeah, but it's like
that's clear though.
I like there are people who have with them, and it's giving like, oh, y'all really just here for each other.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's like that's your sister.
Ew.
Anyway, one of my conspiracy theories, I think that there are actually people out here that can read minds, but I also don't know if that's like religious psychosis or whatever, or whatever. Well, not psychosis is the wrong word, but don't you know how like you're taught from a young age, like, oh, like God knows your thoughts and he knows this, so you're thinking like everybody, like, oh, I'm like in my own head is not safe. So maybe that's where it comes from. But I really do think there are people out there that can read minds. Like, so sometimes when I'm out in public, I'll try to shout something in my mind to see if somebody turn around. Because it's like, oh yeah, I got you. There's a book called The Boy.
Does it work?
Not necessarily, no. But then I tell myself, I'm like, they're just really good at it. They're like, they have to hide because, okay, there's this book called The Boy Who Didn't Sleep and Never Had to. It's something along those lines. And in the book, this boy, it's something about he doesn't sleep, but he can create something out of his mind, like figures and villains and stuff. And so like the government eventually, I think at the end, spoiler alert, the government like takes him away or something like that. So I really think it's people out here with like other abilities, and they really don't want the government to take them away. So they have to, like, that's why I don't work, because they have to get used to they got to get used to like keeping a straight face. So it's like, okay, nobody finds out that I can do this.
I love that. That's so out there.
Like, especially when I think something bad and I'm like bad about a person, I'm like, oh no, this is the one person that can read minds, and I just said something bad about them in my head. So, yeah, I be having a lot of guilt.
Does that like keep you like nice?
Yeah, that's also, I feel like being mean literally makes my body have like a reaction. Like that's why I can't call men. Yes, I can't call women ugly. Like I can't say that. Like, and like I'll feel guilty and bad about it. Like I can't be mean when I'm acting out of like my emotions of like anger, sadness, jealousy, whatever. I feel what I'm doing. Like I'm aware. So it makes me feel bad.
I was about to say, I know that I can be mean at times, but I'm not mean in the sense that like I'm just calling somebody ugly. I think being ugly, I mean, not being ugly, but I think like calling somebody ugly is like, there's so many worse things that you can say. But like there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I feel like when people get on my nerves, that's when I can be mean. And I'm very good at just like shutting people down, dismissing them, invalidating their feelings. Like get away from me. Please.
It'll hurt me, but I can be like, I can be very mean if I wanted to. I rarely want to. I rarely want to be mean.
Yeah, I know when you've been mean. I think that was mean. I was like, because you was texting me while I was like, oh my God. No, that's ruthless. Because I would have still communicated with that person. I still would have been like, oh, hey, person. And just like, then maybe not talk to them.
No. But that's the thing. Okay. Can I talk? I think I can talk about this. When I don't want to talk to somebody, I really won't talk to them, because there's a situation where I was around someone that was not Black, and they were in my sorority. Mind you, these are my own thoughts and opinions. And I did not talk to them. Like, because I was just
They were on your line?
No. Heck no.
Mm.
It was at a gathering,
Mhm.
and they were brought into the space.
Mhm.
And I didn't say anything to them, but afterwards, I kind of regretted it just because I'm like, "Dang, I'm in somebody else's, like, essentially, like, their home, and
Mhm.
is that disrespectful to the person whose house it was, da da whatever, whatever, whatever." But it also was just like, I just can't. I just,
You know, I don't
yeah.
have a problem being mean, but like there I'm always doing something for the plot, which is why I said
I love doing stuff for plot.
I still would have spoken because I just would have
Yeah,
give me a reason to like
yeah.
be upset with you or be mad at you. Like if I don't like you, I still might speak to you because
No, if I don't
I'm
like
doing
you,
it for the
you will
plot.
never hear from me again. Like,
No,
that's like
I
my
like doing stuff for the
bottom
plot.
line. Like, cause my fiance would be like people know, like, I don't play. Like, I'm like, "You will never hear from me again.
Mm-mm.
Never."
If I'm like that done with somebody, like I don't know. Is there anybody that like I don't like? I know there's definitely people that like I don't talk to anymore or like I don't fuck with anymore, but like I don't think there's really people that like I don't like.
Yeah. I would
Like,
say that's more for, like, if you've done me wrong, you won't hear from
mhm,
me again. Like, people I don't like, it's like I'm
mhm.
usually not around people I don't like, though.
Child, don't come texting my phone at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm having a night out and you think it's a good time to text me and I've already decided I don't fuck with you. I'm not gonna respond to you. Like, what
Yeah,
are you dumb?
yeah.
Um,
Any other conspiracy theory?
I feel like I have a bunch of conspiracy theories.
But it's hard to come up with it on the spot. Oh, I
Yeah,
said
on the
my thing
spot.
about, when I lost my Instagram.
Mhm.
And so, okay, I lost my Instagram because they said I was impersonating someone, whatever, whatever. One of my friends, she lost her Instagram, and she ended up, and she knew somebody. One of her friends lost her Instagram, so she ended up paying someone a bunch of money to get her Instagram back. So I'm in my head like, who would be able to have the power to get my Instagram back, except for somebody that work at Instagram? Like, so I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, that's weird. So then me and another one or another two or whatever of her friends lose our Instagram for essentially the same reason. So I'm like, what if this person that gave her her Instagram back is targeting her friends,
Mhm.
taking away their Instagrams to make so she could recommend them or other people can recommend this person so they could get this money from giving people their Instagrams back. I got it back without having to pay. But yeah, it's I have a it's I don't know. I feel like it's a hub of people that work at Instagram that's getting people's accounts snatched so they can get paid.
Now I have a question because did she try to do it herself before she paid somebody?
Yeah, she had it. She was missing it like for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Because cuz I was just like randomly thinking cuz I you had made a couple TikToks about it. I was just like, "Well,
Mhm.
how do you get your Instagram?" Because I got worried because I was like, "Well, I don't
Yeah.
want my Instagram taken." I was just like, "Well, if it gets taken, how do I make sure that like I can get it
Yeah.
back?" And the first thing that popped up was what you did.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
Yeah.
"Well,
So
then."
essentially what I did was the biggest thing except for if it justifiably got taken. This
Mhm.
dude that I knew sent me a nude like a few weeks ago.
Oh my
And I
god.
sent it to Instagram and they snatched his account. So something like that, like, no, you did that. You don't need the Instagram account.
Freaky frog.
Exactly. Freakazoid. Um,
That's one thing I hate, sorry.
what?
Like over, sexual
Hypersexual
hypersexual men,
people, oh yeah, especially
specifically
men, like you're
men.
scaring me. You're scaring the
Yeah.
hoes. As a hoe, I'm scared. Like, but what was I just saying? Oh, how I got it back. The key thing is to talk. You need to talk to an actual person.
Mhm.
So one of the girls who got it snatched, she actually got hers back, and so she told me this. Basically, my Facebook and my Instagram aren't connected, so
They are or they
they
aren't?
aren't. I think hers
Mm.
were or whatever. But basically through Facebook, I went through Facebook, I got Meta verified, which was like $11. And in getting Meta verified, you can select the option that says enhanced support, which is you're actually talking to someone as opposed to like the Instagram boss or whatever who don't care. Like they will just delete your account. So
Mhm.
after talking to someone, what I did, I sent them a picture, like on Scandal when she was holding the newspaper up. I sent him a picture. I sent a picture of my, like, I'm holding my ID and I'm holding a piece of paper that says, my name is so and so. This is my account. It was taken because they said I'm an imposter. I'm not an imposter. I am this person. Please give me my Instagram back. So I went to enhanced support. I sent them all that stuff in like 2 hours or less, like from start to finish, of getting the verification, whatever, whatever. I got my Instagram back. So you need to talk to a person. Like that's the biggest thing.
Mhm.
But of course, during that time, like if you're like making money off Instagram or like you have a large following, all this stuff, I could see like getting freaked out and be like, I need to get it back as soon as possible. Because those
Mhm.
few days, I was like, dang, I miss Instagram. Like I thought I would more so miss TikTok than Instagram, but I really miss Instagram to be
They
honest.
play hand in hand at this
Yeah,
point.
because I feel like I don't know what my friends are doing. It makes you feel connected to people.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to one of my neos, and she was like, "We really haven't seen each other in 2 years." And I was like, "Dang, I don't feel like it's been that long," but it's because of social media.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next question.
Next question.
How did you guys come up with the concept of your podcast? Well, one day I was bored at home, just being me. I got on my Finsta and I said, I practically got my degree in starting a podcast and I don't have a podcast. And Ant was like, I'll start a podcast with you. And I was like,
You were like, "Who wants to start
bet.
podcast?" And I was like, "Shoot, it's 2024. Maybe that's gonna be a good thing to do in 25." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's really what happened. It was
And you know
literally
what's
Finsta.
it's actually so funny when let me see. I think maybe I threw the idea out there of a podcast maybe October,
Maybe we could
maybe.
look through the messages.
But then like when we actually started talking about it, I don't know, it was somewhere before I went and left to Puerto Rico because before I had even left for Puerto Rico, I knew you were getting engaged. So the entire time that we were talking about a podcast, I was like, she gonna be so busy, like she not even gonna be thinking about this podcast. But I'm gonna just
That's
keep
so funny.
talking. And then even literally at the
Because when did you
engagement,
find out?
I knew before. It had to be like the end of October, beginning of November.
Okay. Because some people like my fiance, people were like, "Oh yeah, I knew like a year ago." Like he told people in like January of 2024 or maybe in 2023, we hear like, "I'm proposing to Antonia and
Yeah.
I'm proposing to her," which I think is just so funny, just so cute. Because I'm like, wow, all y'all knew. They were like, "Yeah, we were talking to you about this," and like we knew this whole time, and we're like, "Oh my gosh!" So
Yeah.
I like that. Or even like when he bought the ring, like I was showing people the ring, and they were like, "Yeah, I already saw it. He sent me a picture," and people like, "He sent me a picture too." Everybody was like, "Yeah."
I was gonna say, Cam showed me a picture at the engagement. He was like, "Yeah, he sent it to me like months ago," and I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, no, I told him, and he was like, "Yeah, I sent it to anybody I could."
And
It's a very nice ring.
It's so crazy that like he has, everybody's contact information in your community because child.
Yeah, or he like for my line sister, I think he coordinated with one of my line sisters, and
And
then talked to
then
my chapter, and then other friends that I knew and stuff like that.
mhm.
But yeah, no, it was great. I was like, when I was walking down, I was like,
Everybody I know.
yeah, I'm like, you're there, and you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm gonna say I literally have a video. I'm gonna put all those videos on my flash drive too. But yeah, that's how we came up with the concept for the podcast.
Because we were like, even in talking about it, we're just like, we're so tired of misinformation being spread, like people not knowing what they're talking about. And I've talked before on like my TikTok or like my Finsta when it's like, people don't know what defamation is and people don't know what this is, like, like all the legal concepts. It's like, y'all are wrong.
Y'all just be sounding stupid.
I'm not a lawyer, but.
Oh my gosh, why would you
She almost has like 1 million followers.
Yes, but like
I think that's messed up. At this point, girl, if you ever watch this, you need to just go to law school at this point because you're giving a lot of people a lot of information.
Yeah, just go ahead and make sure that it's accurate information and that you can even give the information. Like it just seems so.
It's just like, I'm not a lawyer, but it's like then you shouldn't be giving this kind of information. Even as an attorney, like there's certain stuff you do and don't do because just the code of ethics and all that stuff.
Conduct and stuff. But yeah, someone asked us about a bunch of different things. ASAP Rocky, Wendy Williams, Zeus Network. So getting into ASAP Rocky.
Okay, so essentially what happened, the most recent, I'm sure y'all have seen
celebrity
by now,
scandal.
Yeah, a California jury found ASAP Rocky not guilty of 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. And it came from a 2021 shooting incident with a former friend of his in Los Angeles. ASAP Rocky's attorneys argue that the weapon was a prop gun that only fired blanks. ASAP Rocky did not testify in the trial. Usually it's recommended that defendants don't testify. Like that's why if a defendant's testifying, it's kind of just like, why are they doing that? You know? So that's not shocking. The shooting involved Rocky, a friend that he had, like, since high school who goes by the name ASAP Relly. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah, I think you are.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so there were no weapons or ammunition found at the scene of the crime. However, ASAP Relly turned over shell casings that he said he discovered after the altercation. So essentially, for this case, all I want to talk about is like like it was two accounts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. For he was charged with that for allegedly firing a handgun in the direction of Relly or whatever. So I just wanted to kind of talk about what that charge is, like assault with a firearm or whatever. When you're looking at cases like that, first you have to see how the state defines it. So you got to go. It happened in California, so you have to. That's where the trial was and everything. So you have to go to California's law about what that looks like, and what elements have to be established and like proven in order for it to be a case, it to be that specific case. Because people were saying like, how did he get off? How did whatever, whatever. If you're being charged for assault with a deadly weapon. It's Penal Code 245A2. PC California law defines assault with a firearm as assaulting a victim with the use of a pistol, rifle, shotgun,
Yeah, we've
semi-automatic,
been filming that long.
yeah, semi-automatic firearm, machine gun, BMG rifle, whatever it is, or assault weapon. And the assault may take the form of pointing the firearm at the victim, striking or pistol whipping the victim, firing the gun at the victim, or actually shooting the victim. So essentially, if you, in a case like this, if you can prove, which it seems like, his team was able, like it seemed like the prosecutors, the government was not able to prove that it was a real firearm.
Right.
And if they can't prove that, you have no case. And I was explaining to you earlier, like
Because, yeah, my
the
question.
way that the court works is like if the defendant comes into court, because you're innocent until proven guilty. If you come in there and the government isn't able, because the burden of proof is on them. If they're not able to prove that you did this thing, and you are just quiet the whole time, you don't have an attorney, you're just quiet, and the jury's like, "Oh, they didn't prove it," then you're walking out free. Like, you technically don't have to do anything. Like, if the government or the prosecutors are just trash,
Mhm.
like, theoretically, that's how it works.
Yeah. Now, my question about the case was, how do you mistake a prop gun for a real firearm? And then, what you said was that it only fired blank. It was a prop gun that only fired blanks.
That was their argument. Because I feel like with cases, at the end of the day, will we ever really know what went on?
Here's what I'll
It's
say.
just the government wasn't able to prove that it was not a prop gun.
Here's what I'll say about prop guns. Prop guns, like, because if it was for a music video or whatever, and they had a prop guns, people really need to change and figure out what they're gonna do about firearms that are used as props, because that's what it is.
Mhm.
So, like, if you're familiar with what happened with, he's an actor. He killed somebody on a set because they had a prop gun. Baldwin.
James?
No. Alec. Okay,
Oh.
Alec Baldwin was,
That's the guy on Cat in the Hat?
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, he got in trouble because, I mean, essentially
Yeah, that's him.
it was manslaughter, but like it was in his hands, but like prop guns that they use on the scene, like there's supposed to be someone there that is like an instructor or
Oh, so
like,
it's the actual gun.
yes, sometimes there are actual
Oh,
guns that they
okay.
use as props, and then there is someone there that is an instructor, and also the director of whoever is in charge. The director is always the head boss on a set. The director is supposed to have knowledge about firearms. They're supposed to be licensed in some way. It's supposed to take a class, which is why a lot of times you don't. There are certain directors who are like, you will never see a gun in my movie because
Mhm.
I don't know enough about guns and I'm not willing
Mm.
to go and take lessons and stuff about it.
Yeah.
So like sometimes on movie sets and on music video sets, the guns that are used, they're prop guns because they probably never had ammunition in them.
Uh-huh.
So they consider those to be props. But like
Interesting.
it's one of those, it's too many blurred lines.
Yeah.
It's way too many blurred lines, which is why I was like, well, if it is like, in what aspect is it a prop gun? Like, is it fake? Is it plastic? Is it like, because even at this point now, people can print out guns and like it's still a plastic, but it's still like
So,
there's just so
okay.
many
So
things.
I feel like in the context of a case, in these like in the California legal definition of what assault with a deadly weapon or firearm whatever looks like, they define what a firearm is. So like I
Hmm.
listed those examples, but I did a trial before and they had like the length of the gun, they had how many rounds it could
Mm.
have, they had magazine in there, like if like so I'm sure that they based off the definition of the law, they were probably like, "It doesn't fit this definition. It is a prop gun,
Hmm.
and so thus it doesn't fit in that definition." Because the thing is, like, if there's a crime and the government has to prove there are 5 elements that you have to prove for it to be that crime, if you miss one element, that person isn't committing a crime. Because then it's like
Hmm.
now and the way that, the court works, he can't like, the guy, Relly or whatever, can't then go back and say, "Well, actually, it was this crime. It was just assault with or putting me, like, making me afraid that he was gonna assault me,"
Hmm.
whatever. Like, that's not the way it works. You can't go back and try to, bring up a case. If you lose, you can't try to bring up a case and add another charge that wasn't originally
You know who else
there.
that just happened to?
Who
Jay-Z.
with
His
the
case got dismissed, and it got dismissed with, I
With
can't remember
prejudice?
the,
Yeah, yeah, it can't be
yes.
brought back up. If it's dismissed, with prejudice, it's like, you can't bring this back up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, they also asked us about Wendy Williams. Can you share some knowledge on conservatorships?
Yes. So, fun fact about me, after graduating from law school, I clerked for a judge. And in my clerkship, we did handle like estate cases and conservatorships, guardianships, like wills and trusts, like essentially all of those things. So in doing that work, I can't speak too much about like
This
what it looks like in
particular.
California because that's
Mhm.
where she is.
No, she's in New York.
Oh, what it looks like in New York,
Let me check.
because it's a different jurisdiction, but when we were doing that, because there are certain, you have to prove that this person essentially isn't capable of, like, taking care of themselves in certain ways or managing their funds and stuff in certain ways and stuff like that. But some cases are so like cut and dry that it's like, oh, okay, like a conservatorship, I feel like it has a bad connotation now
Mhm.
because of like the Britney Spears and how
Mhm.
people's families have like put them in those situations and they don't have any control, all this other stuff. But it's not meant to be like this horrible thing. It's
Yeah.
essentially like, okay, like you're in charge of this person's stuff because if they are left in charge of it, they're going to like do more harm to themselves than like good.
Good,
Like
yeah.
they're incapacitated. Like I know in DC you have to prove that the person is incapacitated.
Mm. I know at one point, because I think with Wendy Williams' case, it really did seem like at a certain point in time she was really out of it. And like I don't know much about like mental health in that regard as far as like getting old,
Yeah.
things like that. But it does seem like she is doing better mentally. She's definitely not the same Wendy, but now I think I I hope the best for her, or at least if she is in a conservatorship, is there a way for her to gain more control about like who's making the decisions for her, like how everything is going? Because like I think, because in the interview with the man from TMZ, his name is Harvey something. Um she was just pretty much saying like everybody who's in charge of me at this point has like, no one has my best interest at heart, and the person that
Mhm.
really has been like, championing for her has been her niece. So like, is there something where like she could say, hey, if y'all still deem me like, unable to take care of myself, can at least my niece be in charge?
So I know that some a few things. One, some judges put in their like conservatorship order that oh, like in a year or in whatever, how many months or whatever, we'll check on this again to see how it's going.
Mm,
But I don't think it's not like I don't believe it's mandatory.
mhm,
Um, Also, a conservatorship can be, because some people are like who are the conservator, they'll for whatever reason they can't do it anymore, so you can move a conservatorship
mhm.
onto someone
Oh,
else.
really?
Yeah. Um,
Like someone else can be in charge of it.
or yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah. But the court has to decide, like, okay, if this person is still able, like, you can't just do it willy-nilly, you
Mhm.
know? Like, if this person is still able to do it, then why would I move it over to you?
But how often are banks putting people into conservatorships? Because she was put into a conservatorship by Wells Fargo.
Well, that wouldn't have been the case because a bank can't put you in a conservatorship, like, it would have to be a judge.
Well, because she filed the
Or
bank.
oh, yeah, bank like, if a bank or even hospitals and stuff, they
Mhm.
can file a petition of conservatorship to the court.
Mhm.
Like, if a bank think, like, "Oh, this person isn't able to, like, to protect himself," but only a judge can, like, issue that order.
Mhm.
But, like, the bank itself cannot, because they don't have any judiciary power.
I mean, if she has enough sense to say, like, my son is doing all of this stuff with my money, like he can't be making decisions on my behalf, then why should anybody, like, why should he, if I can't
Well,
spend my own money?
if you've already been, kind of declared, like, incapacitated,
Mhm.
then I understand why, like, it's, harder for them to, like,
Trust
just
her.
trust your word.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there would be people sometimes when we were at the court, and they would be like, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm this, whatever, whatever," and it's like, you can tell, like, they weren't, so, like, you're not supposed to put just, like,
But I mean, like, she's doing better though, like, or does that not come into account at all?
it depends on what better is, cause it's like, what you're seeing as better, could it really,
Mhm.
like, be better, or are people finding, like, small clips of time that don't show the whole story?
'Cause
But it's not, I will say, like, it's not the easiest to get,
I was
out of a conservatorship.
I was about to say, 'cause I remember I feel like when everything, like, really hit the fan for Wendy is, like, when her husband, like, was found, like, he cheated on her, had a baby, had a whole second life going, was spending all of her money, and then she had health issues, which she was always very vocal about on the Wendy Williams show. So then it was just like when all of that really started to happen and she started getting a divorce and then she had to pay this man all this money, that's when things really started to go downhill for her. So I
Mhm.
was like, okay, maybe she, lost, maybe she lost her mind for a minute. Like damn, she a older lady. She just, her whole life is collapsing. Not to mention she had drug abuse issues.
Mhm.
Like who knows how that could be affecting her mental health. But like damn, I'm hoping she snapped back just a little
Yeah.
bit. Like, because that's such a bad way for Wendy Williams to go out. Like, oh, I don't want that for her. I don't.
Yeah, no, that is sad, like, seeing, like, people age and, like, sometimes what comes with that, I feel like that's also, like, been, at first I would just be in the gym for, like, vanity reasons, um, but now, like, especially working in a space where it's, like, you see, like,
Mm,
disability is the only, like, protected class that you can enter at any point in your life. Like, you can age
mm,
into disability. Like, it's the only protected class that you don't have to be born into. Like,
yeah.
you get a disability at any point in your life. So, I have been, like, thinking more about, like, how I take care of myself, what I'm putting in my body, like, working out and stuff like that, just so, I could use, my body as long as I'm able to. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I be in the gym. I haven't reached that level of maturity yet. I be in the gym for all vanity
Yeah.
reasons. I haven't reached that level of maturity yet. But we already talked a little bit about Zeus Network. Do you watch anything on the Zeus Network?
Mm-mm.
She doesn't even watch the Real Housewives. So like, can we
I just
trust
feel like
her?
I just feel like I missed so much that now I can't start it.
No, you have to. You've only missed like 5 seasons of Salt Lake. Don't, if you don't want to get into Atlanta, don't get into Atlanta. It's
Okay.
going to shit anyway. Potomac, you have to be into Potomac. You're live in the DMV area. You have
Yeah.
to. You have to.
I just
And
never been
it's
into the whole franchise. Like, I just wasn't introduced to it and never, like, really got into it. But if I could, if it's not a situation where it's like, because it's the idea of like, oh, I miss so much and I don't follow these people, I don't know what's going on and da 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 da.
Oh, and then you wanna, like, talk about it and, like, there's
Yeah, 'cause I'm like, is
like,
there
you done
something I'm
already missed the
missing?
conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it's one of those things that you gotta give it a go, and you don't regret it afterwards. I
Okay.
make everybody I make everybody do it because I always wanna talk about it. My best friend actually, while we were filming, she called me, and then I looked at the voice note that she sent me because you can read the transcript, and it's literally about Real Housewives of Potomac, which she never wanted to watch at first because she only liked New York, but New York is ass. Anyway, okay. Uh, honestly, I feel like we can get into some of these other questions next time, so that way we have something
Okay.
else. But I do want to get into my predictions.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Okay. So, like I said earlier, we film like a week and a half before episodes come out. So, as of right now, what's going on in the media is Deshae and E. Kane, and we're just gonna call them weirdos and leave it at that. Bad Baby and Alabama Barker. Um, uh white girl on white girl crime. Love it. Love it. I love white girl on white girl crime. Uh okay, here are my predictions for like the next time we get into this room.
Mhm.
Karen Huger is going to jail. Real Housewives of Potomac. She's had 3 separate DUI incidents, and this fourth
Mm.
one was terrible because there was video footage of the aftermath, and she was clearly blackout drunk.
Oh,
30 minutes of just like her just rambling, just saying all this
I
like
hate drunk driving.
obscenities. She just, oh my
I
gosh,
hate when people drunk drive.
she was just, oh, she was insane. And yeah, it got so bad. So this is like her 4th DUI incident. She's definitely going to jail this time because like she has evaded jail
Mm.
the other 3 times. She's going under the jail. And her sentencing is actually on Wednesday. So I don't know. Maybe you'll see a clip of me talking about how she should be in jail. I think honestly she should. Anyway, Kanye West has divorce rumors going on around Bianca
Mhm.
Censori. I think that it might be true, and I'm gonna take it a step further and say that him and Amber Rose are gonna be seen together.
Really? That's
Yes,
interesting.
because
Oh, both of the
they were so
mm,
indifferent for a while that
uh-huh.
now it seems like they're becoming the same person
All
very
over again.
slowly. And I'm just like, well, y'all both are MAGA hat wearers, both say
Hmm.
crazy things. Just go ahead and seal the deal. And that's where
Yeah.
it all went wrong from here. Amber Rose, just go back in time, just experience that again. Maybe he'll get a jailer. He probably won't. Um, there's gonna be another birthday girl drama topic because there always is one in February. It just always happens.
Mm.
Um, who else? Who else be
Wonder if I have any.
predictions? Oh, yeah, about the whole Bad Baby and Alabama Barker thing. I think that Alabama Barker is gonna disappear for the internet for a while because I think the Kardashians are gonna start putting belt to that girl's ass. Because she's gotten robbed twice. And it's by the people that she's brought in the house. She always got them thugs in there. She always got the blacks
Oh
all up in
my
that house. And they've
gosh. Not the
stolen
YNs.
yes, the YNs with the switches be all up in the west wing of Kourtney Kardashian's mansion, stealing Alabama Barker's little tennis chains, tennis necklace, Rolex, APs. That girl done got robbed by the YNs that she lets into the house. And now
Oh, it
she's,
was Courtney's house that got robbed.
well, it's Kourtney. Okay, so from what I know, because I do keep up with some Kardashian lore, I don't think Kourtney stays in that house because whatchamacallit, they both got so many kids. I don't think they got enough room for all of them kids. So I think they still have back and forth between the house. But Kourtney
Mm.
has been there while the baby has been there, or the baby has been there. But either way, I think they do have some living situation where like they are,
Mm.
Kourtney and Travis are in 2 homes.
Okay.
So like I don't know if Kourtney is there every night with the baby or whatever is happening. But that girl be on live at like 3 a.m. and it be hella niggas in the house.
Mm.
That's what I said. Like maybe she in a private wing of the house where like they can't get to anywhere else. So, maybe there's security all over the house so they can't get to the rest of the house.
Mm.
But she's definitely been robbed. So, not at like gunpoint, but they've just taken her belongings and just never responded back to her again. And like now she's in a situation where like
Wow.
Bad Baby, like she got this whole rat beef with her,
Yeah.
and she's brought up Kourtney Kardashian, and it's just a messy look. Kris Jenner is not about to play that with that girl for too much
No
longer, especially
shaming.
since she's so much like her mom. child, and her mom is messy. And if I was bad, baby, I'm sorry, I would bring up her mother. I know that sounds crazy, but like you be beefing with your mama on the internet. Don't talk to me, please.
Wasn't that how Bad Baby started on Maury?
Dr. Phil.
Yeah, or Dr. Phil, yeah.
But it's kind of like,
oh, somebody must have did something with the door.
oh.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, but it's like her mom, for the most part, they would be cool and then they wouldn't be cool, but like they lived together. She took care of her mom for like a while, but there was a video that I think she might have put out herself where she was like, oh yeah, my mom said the N-word and I smacked her. She did.
Oh, wow.
She did. I was like, oh, the white girls be cutting
Isn't she
up.
pregnant?
I think she already had the baby and then
Okay.
like she had cancer for a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Those are my predictions. Do you have any?
Do I have any predictions?
Let me think.
No, I don't think so. I kind of, yeah. We'll see what happens. What? Did something just happen?
Okay.
She just gasped.
Speaking about Karen, a blog post, a Bravo blog post just said, confirmed that this is her 4th DUI. The previous 3 happened between 2006 to 2011. Prosecutors said this about the rehab facility Karen voluntarily checked into. The state is concerned that the program that Ms. Huger did choose to enroll in equates itself to a luxury resort experience. The rehab offers, what's that, equine? What is that? What? Did they?
Yeah.
What? Lawyers be using big old words. It says relating to or affecting horses or other
Like equestrian,
I don't know if they meant to say this word.
let me see.
Oh, it
If the
offers
resort
horse
is offering-
therapy.
yeah.
Okay. I was like, what? Like, what the hell does horses? Okay. Spa.
That's what it is. I did on.
Oh, I was like, what the hell is that? Equine therapy, spa services, chef prepared meals, and an organic recovery garden. Prosecutors said that they are seeking a 6-month sentence for Karen. Clankety clank, lock that hoe up. Sorry, I know she's a senior citizen, but this is Karen.
Oh, I think I've seen videos of her. She's the one that's in AKA.
No.
Oh, who was they talking about? Because remember they were
That's
like
Giselle. Yeah. Child. Oh shit, it come on in an hour too. The reunion. But yeah, my prediction, she's getting sentenced to 6 months in jail. Absolutely, I absolutely believe it. Let me see. I'm trying to check my Twitter just to see who else would. Maybe Megan Thee Stallion would be in the news.
She just came out with her tequila.
Oh my God, I hope.
And it was just her 30th birthday.
I hope that lady.
I want to get that tequila. I'm going to get that tequila.
I hope that lady. Respect to the law. Respect for the law. The lady that was in Pakistan.
Oh.
Respect for her law. Respect to the law. I hope she get out because she's been in jail in Dubai.
When's the Met Gala?
In May. I was actually just talking about that with one of my friends. Like, me and Ronika, we were talking about it.
I think when the Met Gala happens and all the like people that like want to prove that they have that they like what they have to say is important in like fashion, it just be so funny. I remember this one year, I just feel like everybody, the theme word was archival pull. Like people love to say that during the Met Gala, which is like I get it, like it happens, but like that was so funny. I was like, this the only word y'all know, huh?
Okay, those are the questions. We gave y'all a little, legal content as well. This episode, I want y'all to know that we have been filming for 2 hours. Somebody asked us for a longer episode.
Yes.
Here you go. You got a longer episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut this so it's not going to be 2 hours. But baby, you are welcome.
Yeah.
We just gave you a lot.
Ask us more questions.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's another episode of Law and Order.
Bye.
Yes.